Hi again, everybody. This is Ethan with Beware Beekeeping. Took a little bit longer on this first hive than I expected, so I kind of I broke it up into two videos. This one, just as a reminder, we're checking how bees are building out their honey super, and we're going to do a mite check as well. These guys were looking pretty good compared to that one, so they already have a honey super on. I just put it in the middle there to try to get them to start developing on it. So we're going to see how they're doing. Well, they're propolizing this, which is a good sign. So when we're looking to do a mite test, we're looking for a frame that has a lot of open and capped brood without the queen, because you are going to have to kill them. So we'll see how these guys are doing. When I was in this last, they had a lot of eggs on this bottom frame, or the bottom parts of all these frames, even with this super on, which has been on for about 2 weeks. And really we were just doing that to force them to kind of jumpstart working on that smaller box there. They didn't really have a reason to before, because I don't know, they thought they were good elsewhere, even though they're pretty packed, and I worried about them having enough space and not swarming. There we go. All right. So that is all nectar. Wonderful nectar there. Yeah, even at the bottom. So this is the outermost frame, so that is exactly what you expect. Just makes it a little messy trying to pull it out of the hive. All right. We're going to be kind of quick about this one. We were out a long time on that one. I had a hard time finding the queen because I wasn't sure if she was even there. I was worried they swarmed on between the last couple of videos. And yeah, so she was there. Her blue dot had rubbed almost entirely off, so that was why it was a little bit more difficult to find her. Might have to get a paint marker and mark her again. So honey, some drone here on the bottom of this frame on the side, and some, yeah, a little bit of capped over here on the bottom. Man, this is a heavy frame, hard to manipulate there. Yeah, so we're looking pretty good here. All right. Well, that's a lot of capped. It's about half though. I need pretty much a full frame of it. And as I'm looking through here, they're packing the top part of this box with honey. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and pull this top box off. I'll check the center frame here to see if they've made it brood. And that looks like a lot of honey. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and pull this box off. The bottom halves of the frames are capped and uncapped, but then the top are all honey and nectar, and I don't want to mess with them too much in that regard. So we'll go ahead and pull this off and see how they're doing on this medium box. All right. Well, we're seeing a lot of activity on this already, which is good to see. We'll see how far they're going here. All right, so this is, again, being the outer edge. You see them working on the bottom. They'll always build pretty much bottom up. So they're doing pretty good there. I'm just going to shift these around. So still kind of same story as that outer frame on these ones. Okay, we got starting to get some drone comb development there in this center. If I remember right, on the last inspection of this, they had started building some wonky comb between the frames, so I had to cut it out and flatten it, and that was in the centermost one. And as you can see here, they're really starting to draw that out nicely, so that's really good to see. Packing it with some bee bread and nectar, it looks like. I'll have to keep an eye out for the queen because she technically could lay here. This is getting small towards the center of the box, but just got to keep an eye out for her. But that's good to see that they're really drawing that out. So really the game plan here was to let them really draw out these boxes, and then I'll put them above and let them continue to draw it out. So, and then we can turn that into a honey super. You're a funny looking drone. You're probably from a different hive. So fun fact, drones, like a female bee, a worker bee, won't be able to really go into another hive unless they're trying to rob it. So they'll be hostile towards them. Drones don't have to worry about that. Drones can come and go from any hive. And I'll show you this one. He's like center on the left. He's almost all black. So drones can kind of come and go as they please. They could show up at anybody's house and eat their food and leave. And that's just kind of one of their reproductive things. That drones kind of get a pass when it comes to returning to the right hive. We're looking really good there. They've got most of the center of this built out, the center of these frames. And they're packing it full of nectar that I'm seeing so far. Again, I'm going to keep an eye out for the queen because she could lay here. But they are definitely packing that full of nectar. I would like them to keep working the sides here. So here for a little bit. I want them to get this thing stretched out all the way. All right. Man, these frames are so much lighter in comparison to the deep frames. All right, just doing a quick cursory check for the queen. And that's about as far as they've gotten. I see on this next frame here, they have a little bit worked. Not a whole lot. I don't know if you guys can even see that on the yellow there, but not a whole lot there. A little bit more on this side, which is interesting that they built it up first. But all that is nectar. Yeah, I'm just peeking my head down in there, see what we see, but all that is all just still being worked. So yeah, I'm going to leave this on probably for another week or two. I'm liking what I'm seeing. They're doing good on developing it. Interesting that I'm not seeing the queen lay there, but that's fine. She's probably laying somewhere else. What I do kind of worry about is I don't want her to become honeybound, which is like where they have so much nectar and stuff that she doesn't have a place to lay. That is kind of a worry to have in the nectar flow, particularly for a new hive that isn't all established, that they have to build stuff out. So that would be the risk with that. She wouldn't have a place to lay, even though they have all this comb and stuff. Because they just haven't built enough comb yet. They have all the space to, but they just haven't gotten that far yet. So we'll see. We'll see how they do. Again, not really looking for the queen here. I'll just do a quick cursory check to see if I see like young larvae. That's really what I haven't seen yet. But I bet they'll probably turn this whole box into just about brood, aside from maybe these outside frames. All right, so they're still working on this one. I mean, I would like to find the queen. I don't know if you saw the other video, but I would like to find her so that I make sure I don't get her in a trap or in the mite test. So we do have a little bit of wonky comb here. I am probably going to trim all that off. They're packing the rest with pollen and bee bread, it looks like. So bee bread being a mixture of pollen and nectar. So I'm just gonna smoke them off of this real quick and then pull this comb out. A little bit of nectar in that one, but not too much. So what I'm really doing here is just trying to destroy the base, if you will, of where they're trying to build their wonky comb to make them have to reset. So that's why you see me just kind of scrape like that. Doing fine on the other side. It was just that one side and that one spot. And I should point out, this is my control hive, quote unquote. This is all commercial grade stuff that's been proven. The other hive, you know, where that's the 3D printed or experimental hive. And it's interesting on this one, you know, we are seeing wonky comb too. So I'm not terribly worried that it's just my 3D printed stuff, that I'm doing something wrong, that they're building wonky comb. I think where I went wrong was I probably didn't coat it in enough wax. So, all right. This is a pretty much brood frame. Oh, I'm sorry. Bee bread and nectar frame, but they're still building out the bottom portion of it on that side. And then this is all bee bread and pollen, it looks like. Just doing a quick check for the queen because there are some open spots, so I just want to make sure. If I see her, I see her. All right, what do we see? A little bit of pollen. Doing a quick check for the queen here because I see a lot of open spots that she could potentially lay in. I can't see if there are eggs down in there because my lighting isn't super great, but okay, so we've got some uncapped over here. All right, well, I'm reasonably sure she's not on here. This is going to be a pretty good frame to do that mite test on. I'm going to pull it off to the side a little bit just to make sure. Make sure my queen isn't on here. I'll kind of do a quick check throughout everything else, and I'll come back and do a double check on this. So I'll just do that real quick. All right, what do we see? We see a lot of uncapped. They're probably 5 to 7 days old. They're almost completely filling the cell here at the bottom. So probably be capped in not too much longer. I do see a larvae, a drone larvae that they've uncovered, and I'm kind of wondering if that might be mites. I haven't treated them either yet. This one I did check before, and it had pretty low mite count. And that was about a month ago, so, you know, conventional wisdom is to do about once a month because you don't want to kill bees for no reason. But seeing them with an uncapped cell for a drone makes me think that maybe he had too many mites in there for him to survive, so they uncapped it to take care of him. This is a pretty good frame as well for a test. I'll keep that other one, I think, to use this as a backup just in case I don't see the queen. Again, I did that, put that other frame over there to make sure my queen couldn't get there if she was somewhere else and, you know, moving frames while I'm checking. Oh, I do have a swarm cell here though. That is not charged. We're gonna just take care of that real quick. I didn't even check that other one for a swarm cell. That's the first, I think, swarm cell I've seen on this side, wherever it went. There it is. Yeah, no swarm cell for you. It won't really stop them from swarming. More just stops them from getting the idea for a couple of days because I have to rebuild it. All right, we'll just do a last check again for the queen. All right. Alright. Still looking for our queen here. Sorry, a whole more time this time around just because I'm getting towards the end of the brood chamber, and granted I haven't seen like new eggs, so I've seen a few day old. Well, not even a few day old. They're definitely larvae. They're not eggs anymore. I mean, I'm not worried about them swarming necessarily. These guys haven't really shown much sign of it as I'm checking the bottom of these frames. A couple of drones I'm seeing wandering around. Not unheard of that she could be past that. So we'll give that a try here. Okay. Not really seeing the queen, and this is getting more into nectar and stuff. I could have just missed her. But I think we kind of done our due diligence here. I think I'll pull this last frame just for kicks. She could be on a wall or something like that, so you know. Can't really see down in there right now, so who knows. Or she's feeling particularly adventurous and trying to find a spot. She could be up in here. Alright, well. I'll look at a couple of these frames again just to see if I see new eggs. Again, I saw some 4-day old, so it's like 4 to 7. So it's like, okay, I think she'd be here. I saw her before, so I don't really have a reason to believe that she wouldn't be here. She might just again be on a frame on the wall or something like that, which happens. But I'll check that. Check this frame over here. So we'll go ahead and end it there. I'll flip it around so you guys can see a mite test here, and we'll go from there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do a mite test here. I'm double checking this frame just one more time. I didn't see my queen in the hive, and I didn't see her on this frame on the first pass. So I'm just doing another quick check to see if she is on here. And then what I'll do is I'll knock these bees into this box behind me here, and we'll get the sorry, that bee trying to sting through my glove there. Then we'll get on with the mite test here. So I'm not seeing her. Again, just want to make double, triple sure that I'm not accidentally going to kill my queen. We'll give it a shot. All right, so step 1, shake them into a box. And there's a bunch of nectar and stuff in there that I did not see. Great. All right, well, we'll go ahead and put this one back in the box. Yeah, they must have been covering up that nectar. I thought that was royal jelly, so I just made a disaster in that box, but that's all right. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of smoke these guys off the side here. We'll shake them into a kind of a corner, and then scoop them up into our little test here. So yeah, step 1, shake them into box. Step 2 is you fill your little hive trap, or your mite trap, mite test, whatever you want to call it, about halfway up with rubbing alcohol. We're going to call that good enough. Now, the mite tests come with this little cup. You're going to scoop your bees into the cup and then right into the wash. And you want about, there is like a fill line on it. So yeah, you want 200 to 300 bees. So yeah, there's like a line in there. That's what you want. So you're just going to shake the bees into that. And then try to get your stragglers out of here. They'll try to start climbing out, so Just trying to get them off because you're going to drop this into the wash, so you want to try to keep these from getting out if you can. All right. And unfortunately, like I said, this does kill the bees, but you just got to swirl alcohol in there. And what the alcohol does is it also kills the mite, and then the mites will fall to the bottom here. So you do this for about a minute, according to the instructions. I'm going to see if I can do this for you guys. You see these red dots, I'll point them out on it with like an arrow or something. You'll see them at the bottom. That's what you're looking for. And so you took 300 bees. You want less than 9. You want less than a 3% ratio in your hive. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, let's keep swirling just to make sure I didn't miss anybody. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think. Okay, so that's close to 9. 8 enough, you know. So what I'm going to do is treat them, and then from there we will, you know, I'll get a treatment on here, and then go from there. So that's all there is to it. That's how simple a mite test is. All right, and we'll get to it. So I'm just going to toss these guys out here. And I should note on the instructions it did say try to get capped brood, because that's the bees you want. And that was some capped, some not, and then some pollen or nectar. So yeah, that's pretty much what that says I need to treat, even though I was like 1 or 2 shy. It wasn't the exact type that they want to get an accurate count, but the count I did get pretty much exceeded what I needed. So, all right, I'm just going to move you down here again and put this back together. All right. Yeah, I'll just put this back together. So I'm going to take these bees that are here. I feel a little silly for that, but the nectar part. But we'll just try to shake them back in their hive here. So that's where we are with that. I didn't see my queen, which is unfortunate. We'll see what she does here. And again, I was going real quick on these top boxes, so she could find a bee up there, and I just didn't see her. Well, that one's pretty empty. Thinking of which one to give them, because I am going to put some drone comb in, and what I would like to do is I don't want to take too much out of their stores to do it. So let's tighten these all up. Hopefully my queen is okay. All right. Just going to scrape this along. I'm trying to reduce the amount of bees I kill here. All right. All right, so that one's done there. Now let's tighten these ones back up, and we will put the back box back together. Oh, actually, I was going to put drone comb in here. So I'm going to want to put this drone comb in the center to just encourage them to really build it out. I could put it kind of out a little bit more outside than center, but I kind of just want to get them going on it. Since it's not drawn, they're going to need to do some work. Frames are rather stiff. Actually, I'm going to pull this last frame out so I have enough room. Since I don't know where my queen is, I got to be extra careful. So I just make sure I do that. Just to give myself enough space. All right. Sorry if that was not even in frame. Walking you through it though. Use your imaginations. All right, and then I'm gonna go right on the bone top. Once. Oh, I forgot that was so heavy. All right, that's all there is to it. A little difficult finding the queen today, but yeah, it is what it is. Well, thanks again for watching, everybody. Sorry about the neighbor doing yard work, but appreciate it.